He called me an obsolete coward and had security drag me out. I sent the FAA 89 pages and watched him leave in handcuffs days later. I spent 9 years as the lead metallurgical engineer at an aerospace contractor. We built titanium turbine blades, the kind that keep passenger jets from falling out of the sky at 30,000 feet. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. Then Vance took over. 32, arrogant, a pure venture capital shark. He constantly made you feel microscopic if you questioned his spreadsheets. 6 months ago, we were bidding on a $200 million contract with a major commercial airline. Vance was obsessed. One afternoon, he cornered me in the testing bay. We need to double the extrusion rate, he demanded. Skip the thermal fatigue cycles. I cannot bypass thermal, I snapped. Every blade requires a 100-hour heat simulation. It is an FAA mandate. He leaned against a multi-million-dollar lathe and smirked. This is why you're a glorified mechanic. Innovation requires calculated risks. This isn't risk, I whispered, my jaw tight. It is aviation murder. His smirk vanished. Make the math work, or I'll find someone who can. He found someone. Over the next 3 months, I watched him systematically gut our quality control. He brought in a lean management team. Suddenly, a 100-hour thermal bake became 40 hours, then 10, then just a visual surface scan. I sent desperate emails. I filed internal grievances. He buried all of them. That's when the real bombshell dropped. In late October, I discovered that 300 turbine blades had shipped to the airline's assembly plant without ever touching an oven. Attached to the shipment was a digital sign-off, my forged signature. I kicked open his glass office door. You forged federal compliance logs, I hissed. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. Those blades will shatter at cruising altitude. He didn't even look up from his phone. You're being hysterical. The alloy is fine. How do you know? I yelled. Because we've been skipping the bake since July and no planes have crashed, he said flatly. He didn't just cut corners. He genuinely didn't comprehend why the physics existed. I started building a shadow archive. Photos of microfractures in the raw titanium. Audio of him explicitly ordering floor managers to spoof the calibration software. His own email stating to ignore the heat cycles, ship the metal, and let legal handle the fallout. The mega contract was announced on a Tuesday. Vance threw a lavish catered party on the hangar floor, speechifying about disrupting legacy manufacturing. I stood by a forklift, staring at him. Thursday morning, he called an all-hands briefing. We need visionaries willing to bleed for progress, he projected over the PA system. He pointed directly at me, which is why he is no longer part of our future. Security flanked me instantly. 2 guards I ate lunch with. Walk, buddy, one muttered, looking violently ashamed. I didn't fight. I stopped at the blast doors, turned around, and stared dead into Vance's eyes. Check your inbox in exactly 48 hours, I said. He let out a sharp, mocking laugh. Are you threatening my company? No, I replied with absolute ice. I am setting a timer. They threw me onto the concrete. I sat in my freezing truck, hands shaking violently on the steering wheel, staring at the massive hangar I had spent my entire youth helping to build. Then I drove home and hit send. 89 pages of forensic metallurgy, time-stamped macrophotography of the microfractures, and the forged compliance certificates. I forwarded the entire dossier to the FAA, the Department of Transportation, and the airline's chief safety officer. I signed my full legal name. By Friday morning, federal marshals were swarming the assembly line. A machinist texted me a photo of agents in windbreakers seizing our main servers. By Friday night, the airline suspended the $200 million contract. By Monday, the facility was completely padlocked. Tuesday, Vance was terminated. No catered party, just handcuffs in the parking lot. The airline sued for $80 million. The company settled and agreed to a decade of strict government oversight. Vance caught 3 counts of federal aerospace fraud. He took a plea, 5 years in federal prison and a staggering fine. Yesterday, the interim CEO called me. They offered me the VP of aerospace safety position, triple my old salary. I told them I would think about it, because sometimes the dead weight is the absolute only thing keeping the entire plane in the sky.